Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is part 2 of my 1000 subscribers Q&A. I will leave timestamps to all of the questions in the info box down below so you can skip to whichever questions interest you. Let's get straight into the Q&A. What is your biggest regret? This is a good question. I try not to regret things too much in life because I kind of just try and learn from what didn't go well and learn from that. I used to be a huge regretter, and like my brother especially always used to say, Rads, you always end up regretting everything, just stop. And now I try really hard not to do that. When I think about it, I would say my biggest regret is just stressing so much. When I look back, I have always stressed throughout my life. I always think that things are going to go badly and they don't. I'm always really worrying and expecting the worst when that doesn't happen, and it means I don't enjoy things as much as I could do otherwise. So yeah, stressing too much and just overthinking and worrying a lot is probably one of my regrets in life, and it's something I'm really actively trying to stop doing as much, because it just means I don't enjoy things as much as I could without stressing about it. My friend's mum actually said to me once that if you worry about it now, you worry about it twice, which essentially means there's no point stressing about something now when it hasn't even happened yet. Best to just not think about it until that potential outcome might happen, and then you can worry about it. And there's another saying I like, which is worrying is like being on a rocking horse. It feels like you're doing something, but you're not actually getting anywhere. And I always think of that as well, because when I catch myself worrying, I realise that it's not actually doing anything beneficial for me. It's just wasting my time and my energy and my happiness. So yeah, my biggest regret would be worrying and stressing so much in life, and I'm trying to cut that down. Fave comfort food after a long day. I think this has got to be pasta, just like really simple pasta. Often I have Sackler vegan pesto in my fridge, so I just boil some spaghetti, or I've recently been loving bucatini, which is a type of spaghetti but it has a hole in the middle. I've only found it in Waitrose, but it's not that expensive. But yeah, I really like bucatini. It's just like even denser and filling, and I like having that with either a tomato sauce or a pesto sauce, and it's just really easy, and if I've had a long day, it's so easy to make. So that would be my favourite food. Tips for new plant mums. I'm going to be making a whole video on plants, or multiple videos on plants. I would say my biggest tip is choosing the right plant to start with. Loads and loads of plants die really easily, and I know because I've had loads of plants die on me too, but it's really important to choose plants that don't die easily. So I often say this one here, which is a satin pothos, is really good, like lives really well, doesn't die too easily. And also snake plants don't require too much attention and don't die that easily either. Calatheas are plants that are really emotional, and literally every calathea I have has died within 6 months to a year. So I'm kind of, even though they're so beautiful to look at, I'm kind of steering away from them. So yeah, my biggest tip is to choose wisely when you're buying them, so that you're not disappointed. And my other tip would be to not overwater them, because everybody thinks you should water them loads and loads, but if you water them too much, then the roots will rot. So only water them about once a week, sometimes more depending on the plant and the weather. But yeah, you don't need to be watering them multiple times a day or every single day, because then the roots will rot and the plant will die. Ketchup or mayonnaise? 100 million trillion % ketchup. I love ketchup. I have it with lots and lots of things that I probably shouldn't have it with, and I'm not going to gross you out with it. Yeah, I love ketchup. Also mayonnaise, because I haven't really, for a lot of my life, I didn't really eat eggs. So vegan mayonnaise is a very new thing to me. So I'm never really someone to crave mayonnaise, but I often do have a jar of mayonnaise in my fridge. But it's not like an essential thing to me. It's kind of a new, enjoyable condiment in my life, rather than ketchup, which is almost a necessity to me. And I will always have ketchup, and I will always buy more ketchup when I don't have enough ketchup. So definitely ketchup. Can you play an instrument? Kind of. So when I was at school, I played the cello, and I did up to grade 6. But I haven't played since I was in year 12. So that's actually like 8-9 years now. So yeah, I used to be able to play the cello, but I probably couldn't play it anymore. And I also learned how to play the drums at that time. Again, I could probably know roughly what to do, and I know like different beats and stuff, but yeah, I'm not saying I can play the drums now, and I can't play the cello now, but I used to be able to, and I had learned how to. I've actually dabbled in quite a few instruments when I was younger. I learned to play the violin for a bit, but I didn't really like it, so I switched to the cello. I learned to play the piano for a bit, but then we changed my lessons into grade 5 theory exams for my cello. And okay, I think that's probably it. And then there was obviously the drums and the cello. So that's my instruments. And I also had singing lessons, but don't really think they've helped that much, but I do really enjoy singing. So yeah, no instruments at the moment, but I definitely used to be quite a musical person when I was younger. What did your parents think about you choosing to study medicine? My parents didn't mind, like they did not pressure me into studying medicine at all. I know this is a very classical stereotype, but at the time when I decided to apply, only one person in my family, which is my cousin, was a medical student, and no one else in my family is a doctor. So I decided to do it myself. I kind of applied on my own, I did all the research on my own, and my parents were just supportive, and they have been supportive throughout the whole time, but they didn't pressure me at all, and they were always very happy for me to do whatever I wanted to do. So yeah, they were just chilled and supportive, and obviously they're very proud of me now, but they never pressured me in any way. What's your favourite lunch? I don't know what my favourite lunch is, because I think it depends on my situation and where I am, but my classic go-to lunch, particularly when I'm at work and I'm just really hungry and I haven't got lunch, is a jacket potato with beans. They always have one in the canteen. I know it's going to be vegan, I know it's going to be good, like very rarely does a jacket potato disappoint unless they've like baked it twice and like from the day before, and it's like £2 or £3. So yeah, jacket potato with beans is probably my go-to, and like every now and then I will just really fancy a jacket potato. And yeah, I even like having them at home, but I go a bit more adventurous with the toppings, like sweet corn and avocado and vegan mayo sometimes, whatever. But yeah, I just feel like you can always rely on a jacket potato. Do you like to read books? I really do like reading books, and at the beginning of January I'd set myself a goal to read 2 books a month. I did this in January, but then I started my YouTube channel on January the 20th, and I haven't read a book since the book I finished in January, which is really sad because I really do enjoy reading. I really love the escapism it gives me. I really love learning about new parts of the world, new characters, new ways of life. And it really helps me to reflect and think about things that I wouldn't necessarily have otherwise. So yes, I do definitely enjoy reading. It's just something I've not been very good at doing recently, but I hope to pick up again soon. Best snack ever. My favourite snack at the moment is salt and vinegar crisps. I just really like them, like a little bit tangy, a bit cheeky, very fun. I just love a packet of salt and vinegar crisps. So yeah, that's my go-to at the moment. Sometimes I really like having popcorn. Sometimes I like having carrots and hummus, but not at work because it's a bit fussy. I can't really... Also, I do just love having a slice of toast. Like, if I'm a bit peckish, have a slice of toast. Or when I'm on a night shift, have a slice of toast. Just with some butter or peanut butter or Marmite, whatever. Love a slice of toast and love a packet of crisps. Can you tell I love carbs? Like, literally everything I've spoken about, pasta, jacket potato, crisps, toast, and a carbohydrate. I love carbs. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with loving carbs, and they make me happy and they fill me up, which is what I need food to do, right? Do you have any pets? Sadly, I don't have any pets. My family used to have a dog called Simba, but he passed away a few years ago, and we had a cat called Catty. I know it's hilarious that the cat was called Catty. It was like a joke name until we thought of a proper one, and then it stuck. So yeah, we had Simba and Catty. Catty actually ran away and we never saw him again. So yeah, I don't know where he is. I hope he's doing well. But at the moment, I don't have any pets. And I think that with my rota and stuff, it wouldn't really be practical. But maybe one day I will have a pet of some form. I don't know what. But they're quite cute, aren't they? But yeah, I think I just wouldn't be able to look after an animal properly right now. Like, I just about look after myself. So no pets at the moment. Would you ever consider moving to the US? No. Like, I think I decided a couple of years ago that is just something I'm never going to do. I don't even think I'm going to leave London. I said this in my last video, like I absolutely love being in London. My family are here, my friends are here, my whole life is here. So I don't want to live, I wouldn't want to move to the US because of a lot of things, including the fact that I don't really enjoy how the healthcare system works, and I don't really think I'd be able to fit into it. I also don't want to sit the USMLE, which is a huge exam that you need to sit if you want to practice in the US. But I also just don't think I want to leave England/London. So yeah, that answers the question in 2 ways. I don't really want to go to the US, but I also don't really want to leave London. So I'm pretty happy staying put. What would you change about your time in your foundation years? I don't really think I would change that much. Like, there were definitely times where I didn't like it. There were times where I didn't get on with my consultant. And yeah, it was not, like, it was very tumultuous. There were really good times and really bad times. Especially in F1, but I really enjoyed it. And even with COVID and the fact I didn't get to do my obs and gynae rotation, and I did 8 months of A&E, like all of it, it's made me who I am, and I'm pretty happy with how I am right now. So even though there were hard times, I learned from them and they've made me more resilient, and I think they've probably taught me skills I don't even realise. So I don't think I would change anything. I'm pretty happy with how they went. I made really good friends, I learned a lot, and I had a lot of fun as well, and I realised I love paediatrics and applied. So I quite enjoyed my foundation years, and I will always look back on them as a really fun time in my life. Yeah, I wouldn't want to change them. How are you doing? That is so nice of you to ask. It's funny because when I do these Q&As on my Instagram stories, I get loads of people asking how I am, but because I did this Q&A for my YouTube, only one person asked how I am, but that is really nice of you, so thank you so much. I'm doing really well. I'm just feeling quite content at the moment. Like, there's lots of different things going on and I feel very busy, but I feel like for once I kind of have a hold of everything and I know what's going on. I do have an exam coming up which I haven't started revising for properly, so that's definitely on the back of my mind. And I keep having different projects that I keep saying yes to, and I'm like, okay, I need to actually do stuff for this project. I can't just say yes to it. So that kind of gives me a low rumbling stress. But I feel pretty happy right now. I'm a bit anxious about when lockdown ends because I feel like I've been able to balance things well in lockdown. But obviously when lockdown ends, there's going to be different kind of things pulling my time and my attention, like social things and seeing family and friends, which will be really nice, but I kind of will lose the balance that I have now. So yeah, generally overall I'm definitely doing good. But I have this like rumbling feeling of busyness and wondering what life will be like when lockdown finishes. Favourite beauty product you can't live without? I would say mascara. I just love mascara. Like, I probably could live without it. I could live without all beauty products. But I just really like wearing mascara. But then I really think foundation is, I don't wear much. I literally just wear foundation, mascara, and like fill in my eyebrows a bit. But yeah, okay, I'm going to say mascara, but I'm also going to say foundation. But let's say if I had to choose, I would say mascara. Also, I was thinking, if we're not talking about makeup products, I would say a hairbrush. Like, I really struggle without having a hairbrush. I think I actually couldn't live without a hairbrush. It like annoys me so much not being able to brush my hair. So maybe we'll ignore the mascara and foundation and we'll just go with a hairbrush, because that actually is quite key and I don't think I'd be able to survive without one. What would you enjoy most at a wedding event? This is from my cousin Rani, who's getting married this summer. Guys, can you believe I have 3 cousins getting married in 1 month this summer, which is so exciting, and I'm so excited for all of the like Indian wedding fun. I'll hopefully try and bring you guys along with me on some of those as well. My favourite thing at a wedding, there's 2 things. The favourite moment is when they lower the cloth in between the bride and the groom and just seeing their reaction. I love it, and I know that's really cheesy, and I know quite a lot of people say that's their favourite moment, but I just love it when the bride and groom see each other for the first time. It's so lovely, and I just love looking at their faces and their reaction, and it always makes me feel a little bit emotional. And then my other favourite part would be the reception, because it's just so much fun to dance and to be with your family and to like just be free and really enjoy it and have great music and maybe be a bit drunk and whatever. It's just like, I just really love that feeling of dancing on a dance floor at a wedding reception with all your family and your aunties and uncles and cousins and the little kids and whatever. I really, really like that. So dancing at the reception and when they lower the cloth in between the bride and the groom. What are some things you do to wind down? I would say watching YouTube videos and watching Netflix is definitely a huge thing I do to wind down. When I'm into a good book, reading as well is also a thing I do to wind down. But again, like I've said, not something that's happening at the moment. And also just having a cup of tea. Like literally, if I feel a bit stressed, I have either a decaf Earl Grey or a normal tea, depending on the time of day and whether I think I'll sleep that night. But just like having a cup of tea and chilling really helps me just to unwind and just be like, okay, peace. Also, another thing I do is if I feel a bit overwhelmed and have a lot of stress in my head, I'll delete social media apps like Twitter and Instagram, because it will mean I won't click on them and I can just give myself some me time to think and to mellow out. So that also really helps. How do you deal with jealousy in academic competition? This is an interesting question. I think that it's very easy to be jealous or compare yourself to your colleagues, especially at medical school, because at medical school you literally are compared against each other when you're ranked. But once you become a doctor, I feel like you kind of need to realise that you're on your own journey, and I've had to realise this myself, because I do compare myself to the people I work with a lot, and I'm learning that actually they have very different experiences to me. They have been taught differently, they might have done more or less of what I've done, and I shouldn't use that as a way to make me feel bad about myself. I realise that now I can actually learn from people who have more experience than me and are doing better than me, and learn. Like when I started ST1, I was really bad at doing bloods. So my colleagues who were my level, but just better at doing bloods, would help me and like be like, okay, this is how you do it. This is a technique I use. These are some tricks. So things like that, just realise that actually you can benefit from people being more experienced or better than you in some ways. I just think it's really important to focus on your own journey and what you're doing. And you might be inspired by other people and what they're doing, but being jealous doesn't do anything beneficial for you, and again it just makes you feel bad about yourself. Maybe use it as a little bit to inspire you and to fuel you and to make you do better, but do it in a way that's nasty and makes the other person be in a negative light in your head, because it shouldn't affect you. You're both on your own separate journeys and you can actually benefit from their experience and their knowledge. What is a hobby you have that people might not expect you to have? I thought about this for a while, and it's a weird one, but it's basically listening to music in a lot of detail. So when I really like a song, I really, really listen to it and like the song. Like, I listen to the melodies and the backgrounds. I try to listen to like the background beats that you wouldn't necessarily realise if you're not paying attention. But then also I notice them and I realise how different the song would be without them, like the random drum beats or the random cymbals or whatever. I also really like listening to the lyrics in a lot of detail and sometimes Googling different people's interpretations of the lyrics and kind of trying to understand what the writer meant. And then sometimes I try and make my own sense of it, and then I might see an interview where they've kind of explained what the song's about, and it's really interesting to compare. I also really like watching the music videos because it gives you a completely different perspective of the song from what you had in your head. And I've had songs where I will listen to them on repeat and then I finally watch the music video and I'm like, whoa, this song has a completely different meaning, it's taken a completely different level, and then I become re-obsessed with it again, but in a different way. One song I can particularly think of that fits with all of these is Eugene by Arlo Parks. Like, I just love that song, and then I watched the music video and I realised it was about a woman being in love with her best friend who then ends up having a boyfriend, and like, I was just like, wow, like, how did I miss that when I listened to the song? When it's so obvious when you listen to it, but I was just listening to the vibes of the song for so long rather than the lyrics and the song itself, the music. So yeah, did you see how passionate I just got about all of that? Like, that is definitely a hobby I have that people would probably be like, what? Like, you really like music in that much depth? Yeah, I do. I really, really do love music a lot. Favourite perfume? I don't wear perfume. I have 1 or 2 perfumes that I will wear on a night out or a special occasion, but like literally don't wear perfume. I just wear deodorant. I think it would be quite nice to be a perfume person because I feel like people who wear perfume are really sophisticated and have their life together, but that's just not me. I'm not a grown-up. I think perfume is a very grown-up thing and I'm not a grown-up. I'm basically still 12, so I don't wear perfume. If you could speak any language, which one would you like to speak? So I said in my last video that I'd really like to learn basic sign language. So there's that answer, that I want to learn basic sign language because I think it's a really important skill to have, and it increases inclusivity and means that I'll be more skilled when I'm speaking to patients who use BSL. But I'd also really, really like to be fluent in Spanish. I love Spanish. I sometimes become obsessed with it. I just love how it sounds. I love the Spanish culture. I love listening to Spanish music, and hopefully one day I hope to maybe work in a Spanish speaking country for maybe 6 months. So if I could be fluent in a language, it would be Spanish, because I think it would just give me loads of skills and it would make me really happy. So one day I will be fluent in Spanish, hopefully. My brothers are, which is really cool, but I am not. But one day hopefully I will be. That is the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed answering these questions. If you want to ask another question, I do Q&As frequently on my Instagram, and I'll probably do another one on my YouTube. And I also have the other Q&A part 1 video if you haven't watched that yet. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!